Hey there, my name is Raymond Okpani and you are welcome to my channel. And on today's episode, I'm going to be sharing about 7 strategic things you need to note as an international student in order for you to navigate your bents abroad. Now, one of the things you need to know is that starting afresh in a country that is completely new, where you have no one probably, and no friends, no family, where you don't even know the terrain, can be really overwhelming. And I always tell people that, you see, whatever you do at the very initial stage, at the very first period that you land in a new country, either for studies or outright immigration or for work, whatever it is, the very beginning can really determine how you eventually key into or blend into that society, and how you are also able to leverage on all the opportunities that are in that particular country. And so I often get people like, I am here in North Cyprus, and when I was coming here, a lot of people told me, oh, how things are really very difficult and I'm going to suffer and a lot of things. But I had my own plan as to how to navigate my bents here, because it doesn't mean that everyone is going through difficult times. And it's not just about here, it can be in any other country. Immediately you are getting into a place where you are completely new, new to the culture, new to the environment, new to lifestyle, new to almost everything. Trust me, you need to be super prepared to be able not to so that you don't get really overwhelmed or sucked into the system. One thing with living abroad is that the system is already programmed in such a way that is able to work. You get to work like robots, so you have to follow through the timing. And God bless you if you are coming from a country where you don't take timing very seriously, then you're going to struggle a lot. So today, I decided to talk about how I've been able to navigate the past 4 years since I left home to come and study here, to study in another country. And so these are things that may also help you if you are looking forward to going to study abroad. So I'm going to be talking about 7 key things that helped me to fit in, and it will also help you if you are also looking forward to traveling abroad, or someone who wants to travel abroad. You may also want to share this with them, because I want to talk about 7 strategic things that you need to do to be able to build a very strong foundation, and also to take advantage of all the opportunities that are in the country where you are going. Irrespective of the country, this thing applies to everywhere. And I've actually written them down so that I don't get to miss out on anyone. The first point is accommodation. Now, when I want to presume that you already have gotten your admission, like I said, I have another video where I talked about how the whole process from the time you want to study abroad, how to go about processing your admission and all those. So you can find it on my channel. But now I want to talk about, so let's assume you already have your admission and your flight ticket, everything, you are ready to go, right? Even before you get your flight ticket, as soon as you get your admission, the very first thing you want to be able to figure out when you are moving to a different country for your studies is your accommodation. The truth is that I didn't actually know this. Most of the countries where I've been privileged to travel to, either for work or for conferences or for whatever it is that I've gone to, I discovered that I don't know the country where you're watching from, but my home country is a place where we get to pay our rents per year. So you have to pay your rent annually. And other countries where I've been to, they pay their rents per month, or even maybe 2 months or every 3 months. So you want to be able to know that where you are going, you're probably going to figure out how are the accommodation, how is the rent paid there, so that you can secure where you are going to stay. It's not like back home where you could actually just wake up one day, go to a friend's place or go to a family house. There's no family house or family friend where you are going to put up for a while, except of course if you have a very special case. But you want to be able to figure out your accommodation. Now, in trying to figure out accommodation, know that you are having to pay, you are going to be paying in a different currency. And of course, I'm also going to talk about how sometimes people also really get overwhelmed, not trying to really blend into the system, because they are still trying to calculate exchange rate, and then they are not able to really live their life and all that. So you're going to be paying your rent in a different currency. So it's important that you figure out what is actually very okay for you to be able to afford, what your affordability of living in certain areas in the country where you are moving to. So you don't just get into a country and you are not yet sure how you will survive, and you are already going to live in a very highbrow area when you've not gotten a job, or you're having to bring money from back home to convert it to the, to, let's say you're converting naira to pounds to be able to pay a house rent in London. Trust me, you're going to struggle even before you start knowing what is happening in the city. So you want to figure out an accommodation, find out a place that is, some of these countries, some countries you figure out that, the universities all have school buses that are able to, take students from one point to the other. The only thing you now want to now start working on is on your time, your ability to manage your time and the route of those buses to help you to really work around, so that you don't get to spend money on transportation. But either you want to figure out the way of, you want to live in a school dormitory if they don't have, then you have to find accommodation, start looking for accommodation in a place that is very, very affordable, where you won't have to really struggle. I think one of the things that helped me when I was moving is because I was moving at a time when COVID had just ended, and so a lot of people were were made to pay a lot of money to stay in a hotel for just about 2 weeks, just just for the COVID period when they would have taken their test and all that. But because I already had an accommodation, I rented an accommodation for about 3 months, so it was very, very easier for me to pinpoint, give a location of where I live, instead of taking the option of paying a ridiculous amount of money just to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks. And then the next thing I also want to talk about is that while getting the accommodation, find out a place where you can pay for 3 months, secure your rent for at least the next 3 to 6 months, right? Know that, figure out how you can pay your rent 3 to 6 months, so that within those periods you are not having to be anxious every other 30 days to raise money to pay your rent. So you can take some time to really blend in why those months, 3-6 months, is actually passing. I think what made it easier for me was that I paid for 3 months, and so even though at the end of that 3 months, and when they knocked on my door to ask me for rent, I didn't understand, because I was still used to paying annually back in Nigeria. So you want to figure out your accommodation. That's the first thing you want to figure out if you're looking forward to going to study abroad. The second thing you want to talk about, look out for, number 2, is food. Now, if you are going to leave your home country to another country, so there are 2 things that are going to happen. One of them is the fact that, you are still going to want to be eating, you are still not going to be used to the food that are cooked in those areas. Like if it's a foreign food, you are not used to that, and so your taste bud will still be craving for your homemade meals. And then unfortunately, even your homemade meals that are in those countries are probably going to be very, very expensive, and so you're going to have to pay a lot of money to be able to feed. And that's why it's important for you to take a lot of local food to the country where you are going, so that you are able to make your meal, you're able to feed very well while you are getting used to lifestyle, the foods and the culture of the country where you are finding yourself in. So this is really very important, because if you're not able to figure out your food, you also find out that you're going to be struggling to pay a lot of money for things that, just buy all the basics things that you can actually afford, the groceries, everything. Get them that can last you for at least another 3 to 6 months within the period of your accommodation, so that you're able to really blend in. One of the things I learned from one of my mentors is the fact that you have to find a way to take care of small things in your life, so that your mind can open to think about big things. Trust me, if you're still having to struggle about feeding at the very, very first stages of your moving to a different countries, then you're going to really you won't even have time to really find out all the opportunities, or even take advantage of all the opportunities that are in that particular country. So fix your accommodation first. Secondly, fix the food that you're going to eat for the first 3 to 6 months, and then we can get into the next phase. Number 3 is immediately you land in a new country, or in a new country where you are going for studies or whatever, find out a way to get connected immediately right from the airport. What I'm saying is that, if you have to get a SIM card, get it right there at the airport. Don't say no when you get into the city, you're going to buy it, oh, it's cheaper. So there's nowhere it is cheaper anything. Find a way, buy your SIM card, get to make sure that you have an internet right from the airport, because this is going to help you navigate some countries. Like while I was in the UK, I figured out I was seeing a lot of people always carrying their phones on their hands, and you think that it's because people just like to carry their phone on their hands. It was later I now discovered that, man, everybody is carrying their Google map. Everybody is on their Google, using their Google screen to Google camera to navigate the streets where they were all going. So you have to be able to get connected right from the airport immediately. You'll ask them where you can actually get internet, what's the best internet service provider, what's the best plan, whatever it is. Get connected, because that will really help you not to get overwhelmed or get anxiety in trying to communicate with your where you're going or even where you're coming from back home. It's going to really help you. The fourth thing is, when you get into a new country for your studies, when you have landed, got into your accommodation, trying to relax, the fourth thing you want to do, and these are really coming from personal experiences, the things that I did as well that helped me to really blend in and really helped me not to really get not to struggle in settling into the country where I am studying. Actually, the fourth thing you want to do is to find out the social communities that are in that particular area, in that particular country. It can be mosques, it can be churches, it can be organizations, it can be institutions, whatever it is. Find out social communities that are there where people gather to learn, where people gather to connect, to network, and to grow together. That is really going to help you at the moment when it can be very crazy, especially in winter period when it is very lonely. Everybody is in their houses, and most people who are not able to go through that period, they sink into depression and they have to struggle and all that. So it's important you find social communities that can help you to really navigate through those periods of your life when you move out. It can be churches, it can be mosque. Go to those places, identify with one, whatever works for you, and find out how they are able to survive. Find out people you can learn, find out people that can share with you more details about how you can make the best use of your newfound environment. And this is really going to help you. And the fifth thing, and these are really the things that I did, again, I want to reiterate that so that they are not just things I think I'm just saying, that things that I really did that helped me. So while people were saying, oh, people come and then they are not able to find their footings, these are the exact things that I actually did. And I've not had to really, struggle in trying to, even when I had challenges, again, it's very easy to find support system that can help you to, that could help me to navigate in some of the things that, I went through at some point. Now, the fifth thing you want to do is to volunteer. Now, it's either you want to volunteer in the mosque or in the church, join a group, join some people that are doing something. It helps you to really blend in, connect more with people, learn more from them, and also to contribute in that particular place. It could be in your school as well. You could just walk up to your school where you are studying. Don't just be going to school and going home every day for nothing. You can just walk up to the school and say, you know what, I would like to volunteer with you for free. I would like to contribute my knowledge. I would like to contribute my expertise, my skill, whatever it is. But one good thing with studying abroad is that even if you decide to volunteer or in whatever capacity, sometimes they also pay stipend. And this is assuming you are not able to find any work. Even when you find a work, find somewhere, get a job. If you're not able to get it, find a place to volunteer your skill, your experiences. And with time, you also start opening up opportunities that you can leverage on that can help you to really navigate or to really stay settle into the place. You're not going to struggle because you will have people that will have your back, strong support system that are also going to check up on you when things are not really going the way that they are supposed to go. So that's the fifth thing that you want to do. The number 16 is be very domestic and cut cost. Now, I'm a very domestic person, so it simply means that I get to cook my food at home. I cook really very well, even if I say so myself. So I don't really get to buy a lot of food outside, except if I really want to, or maybe I just, whatever it is, maybe I just want to, take out some time off and then and all that. But apart from that, I get to cook at home. So which means I'm able to save a lot more money that I would have spent having to buy food from outside, having to get a lot of things from outside. So I have, periods at intervals when I get to do my grocery shopping, buy everything that I need to buy, and I'm able to cook in that. So you want to get very domestic. If you don't know how to, you don't know how to cook, learn how to cook even before you travel. Learn how to cook your meals, whatever it is that you love eating. Learn how to cook it, because it's going to come handy until when you are fully settled in, and then you can start eating the foods in the the meals in the country where you are going to, when you are comfortable to eat them and they won't react negatively on you, then you can actually do that. But you have to be very domestic, cut costs at all costs. Don't go and use a taxi if where you are going needs a school bus. Where you are going, there's a public transport that can actually take you there. You don't have to order a taxi. If you understand how the school buses navigate, like, oh, there are a lot of schools around and they all have school buses and they all have different times that they move. If you are able to understand the bus schedules of those schools, then trust me, you may be able to really stay in that place for a very long time, even without having to pay a lot of money for transport. So cut costs at all costs. If you don't have to, you don't need to hang out. If there are things you need to buy and just keep in your house, buy those things, keep in your house, consume them in your house, and you don't really have to, you know what I'm saying. Your lifestyle has to be really, really cut out, because it's going to be quite a very long journey and you don't want to get stuck in the middle. That's really, really the reason why it's important for you to plan yourself ahead of time, so that by the time you arrive at the country where you're going, you're not going to have to struggle. You're not going to have to struggle in blending in. The last thing I'm going to talk about, which is the seventh thing that you have to do, you have to note before traveling to study abroad. The seventh thing is that you must do everything at all costs to lead and build influence. You must do everything at all costs to lead and build influence. What it simply means is that you must find every opportunity to contribute. You must find every opportunity to help other people. You must find every opportunity to add value as much as you can. As much as you can, add value to people, as much as you can. Help people to become better, help people to succeed in what they are doing, help people with your knowledge, help people with your expertise. As you are working, if people are stranded and if you can help them as much as possible. Build a lot of influence, because you are going to need all those networks by the time you are finalizing with your studies, or perhaps you even want to move to other places. Then these networks that you have built, these contributions you have made, these values that you have added over time, you might really, really need them in the new phase where you are going to. Now, these are essentially the things that I did when I moved here. And of course, I'll just have to also add the bonus points, the fact that when you eventually, of course, this is like things that you need to know before traveling. Yeah, when you eventually go. The last thing I'm just going to talk is just going to be a bonus. That's the fact that even before traveling, make an advanced plan to at least explore the city where you are going. Make an advanced plan to explore the city where you are going. Find out where things are happening, things of interest, where people of like minds gather. Are there conferences that happen there? Are there seminars that happen there? Are there workshops that happen there? Where are they happening? Are they free? Are they paid? Can you volunteer? Can you contribute? Can you speak? Whatever it is, figure out what are the things that are predominant in these areas where you are going, and prepare yourself that as soon as you go, you're going to start ticking up these 7 points that I've given, of course, and of course the bonus point that I've given you. These things are really going to help you to not just settle into the new country where you are going to study, but also to navigate through all the possible challenges that you're going to meet while you are trying to find your feet in these places. Trust me, at the end of the day, if you learn how to take care of small things in your life, your mind will be open and unlocked to think about big things. I hope you've learned something on this video, and until the next one, thank you so much for following. And if you love this content, if you love what I've just shared, please kindly click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification icon so that you will also be one of the first to see my next video when I post them. Until then, I must see you all again. Bye-bye.